Welcome to Oh Hi Films Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about My Son, which came out on Peacock in the US on September 15th and don't know when it's out in the UK yet. I'm Cameron, and we're joined by Jordi Steele, who's going to tell you a little bit about the movie.
A man investigates the disappearance of his son in the Highlands of Scotland.
When I looked at his cabin, I could see his clothes were still in there. His bag was still in there.
We continue to interview everybody who has come into contact with your son. Ethan! I understand that you've been traveling a great deal. You've been in Libya, Iraq.
Do you have reason to believe that it's because of what I do that Ethan is missing?
Now, Mr. Murray, I have to tell you that we're investigating every hypothesis, including kidnapping. Would you say your work was dangerous?
It's directed by Christian Carrion and is written by Christian Carrion and Laura Ehrman, and it is adapted from Christian Carrion's previous film, Mon Garçon, which is also it's the same film essentially, and it stars James McAvoy. And the big sort of gimmick of this film is that James McAvoy saw no script, and he was given no lines, so everything he does is pretty much improvised. Well, I say improvised, it's ad-libbed, because I'm sure he was given direction for this film. Otherwise, it would be off the rails, and
it'd be 3 hours long.
I don't think the mystery would have been solved.
You'd be figuring out the mystery for like 4 hours. It'd be a mini-series.
They're just like, yeah, we never told James to beat up those guys and torture a man.
The blowtorch.
But he went for it. But yeah, James was really, really into the role. He must have got a nasty shock when he was shot. Yeah, it was essentially just look at me, I can cry when I want to for about an hour and a half. And it was an intriguing story, but
yep.
McAvoy's performance sort of left. There was something that was missing, and it was writing.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't known about the improvisation stuff, I think McAvoy is so good that he managed to make an improvised generic thriller feel like just a generic thriller. You know, it doesn't feel like anything else. It doesn't feel like new or interesting or doing anything different. It literally just feels like every one of these kind of films. There's nothing different to it. So, like, he's that good that he can make a film that's like, you know what I mean? It just feels the same as everything else. I don't think I could ever tell that he was just ad-libbing, which is maybe a testament to him. But it's just very run of the mill. Yeah,
I just think when people keep talking about how this film, he's completely improvised. It's so he can. It's the whole point is that so when he figures out the mystery, so does the audience. But it doesn't quite work out that way. It's not like he figures out the mystery by doing detective work. A lot of him figuring out stuff is through him being directed to do stuff. It's very obvious that he's been told, do this, and then you'll figure out everything. So it's a bit annoying in that sense. But everyone else is really good. Claire Foy is fantastic. Tom Cullen. He plays a really good scumbag boyfriend. And then I forget what he's called. It's like Gary something. He plays the policeman. He's excellent.
I think he's Gary. Is it Gary Lewis or something like that? I think I saw it on the.
I think it must be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's they're all very good. I think it's nice to see Scotland. I didn't realize this was set in Scotland until I turned the film on, which was quite cool. I had no clue. I was like, oh, it's set in Scotland. James McAvoy's using his actual accent for once, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, nice wee Highlands of Loch Arbor. It was I don't know if they seem to be all over the place, because I know it started in Lock Harbor, but then shooting stopped because of the panda. And then everything else. I don't know where their second shooting place was, but it did seem like quite a low budget film as well, which is fantastic. So for whatever budget it was, they did make it seem like a very good thing. My quick review from my mum. She thought it felt like the last episode of a series, like of a BBC show.
Yeah, it was giving off like kind of high-end TV vibes more than it was giving off movie vibes, I thought, for a little bit. But I can get behind that.
Yeah, I've never watched Broadchurch, but
similar.
That's what I feel like it would be like.
Yeah.
Scottish man going about trying to find children.
Yeah, any David Tennant one, like Deadwater Fell as well. Like it's just the same thing, really.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it, but I was never like in awe of James McAvoy's acting abilities. And then in the final half hour, it sort of drops the sense that it is an improvised sort of film, because there's
it becomes very
actiony. It is. Yeah, incredibly direct, and there's not a lot of like lines. So yeah,
lots of stunt coordination going on there. It's like it's all very choreographed. Yeah, I'd love to see the original French film and see how it compares though, and like if it's the exact same thing, if it's like different. Because if James had watched the French film, maybe he got it spoiled for him. Maybe you'd have watched it in advance. You never know.
Yeah. The highlight of this film was, to not spoil too much, he does kill a man, and it was fun to lean over to my mum and be like, and that wasn't in the script. He was just improvising.
Just kept going. Just kept shooting.
That's just James McAvoy.
Have you had the chance to see My Son? What do you want to see it when it comes out in UK cinemas? You can let us know in the comments below. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and like the video. If you're on Facebook, like the video, like the page, please. That'd be great. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at Ohio Films. I'm at CamsOOG, and Jordi is at Real Jordi Steele. We're going to LFF in October, so please be sure to follow us for all of that on ohighfilms.com, because we're going to be covering it extensively. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.